Believe it or not, it's not uncommon for people to remain friends with their exes. You have people who break up on very mutual, very neutral grounds, and they manage to become friends where they have no other type of romantic feelings or interactions whatsoever. However, if you're dealing with someone who is a narcissist, understand this. Any so-called friend that was an ex or someone that they have dated from their past, if they're friends with a narcissist, better believe they are probably rotating these people around. Narcissists tend to recycle. What do we do when we recycle? We reuse. So when a narcissist has basically gotten bored with the supply that they have, they do tend to either go forward onto new supply or decide to go backwards onto old supply. But there are two ways this can work, and I'm going to explain it to you. Now, we know that narcissists like to go for the next best thing. And usually it's to make their image look better. It's to make them look better to the world. And of course, because the next best thing, if they're entertaining the narcissist, is going to fill them up with supply. But what happens when they are unable to find the next best thing, or if what they went for that they thought was the next best thing doesn't give them the supply they want? Well, what they normally do is they go backwards. They'll either go and reach out to people that they have dated in the past or to exes that they have either discarded or possibly discarded them in the past. And of course, with doing so, they use the Hoover tactic. So they're going to go backwards into, let's try it again. Let's make it work out. You know, I didn't mean what I said. You know, I'm a changed person. I've changed for you. I can change for you. All that bullshit. We already know how that operates. So what do? They usually go back to those that they've created a trauma bond with. See, it's a lot easier to hoover into someone who you created a trauma bond with because you've managed to confuse that person so badly to the point that they're confused of their feelings for you. And every single time a narcissist decides to do a hoover, they decide to tug at that person's heartstrings. They decide to bring up good times, bring up old memories, bring up all the fun and laughter that they had in the past, and all try to negate the bad things that have happened. So if you were to ever, let's say a narcissist tried to hoover you back in, you're the ex. They tried to hoover you back in and you tried to bring up the things that they have done to you in the past, their clear-cut answer is going to be, you're still stuck on that? I mean, listen, I've changed. I'm a changed person. Give me the chance. I'll prove it to you. Blah, 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 boom, boom, boom. Crocodile tears. You know how that goes. The reality of it is that they have not changed. They never will change. Now, if you dealt with a narcissist, and of course they were friends with an ex or a few exes, and of course they told you what happened between them and their ex, the reality of it was that you were the new supply. You were the new supply. Their ex was a victim. And of course, their ex was the one who treated them badly, who manipulated them, who lied to them, who cheated on them, who did all of these things. And you're being fed this because they want you on their side. They want you to go against the ex, because if the ex has any chance in telling you what truly happened between the two of them, you won't believe them because you're too busy being fed, spoon-fed by the narcissist. So everything that the narcissist did to the ex in their story, their ex did it to them. But if that is the case, why are they still friends? Let's be realistic about something, guys, okay? And this is why I choose not to be friends with exes. If you shitted on me, why am I going to be your friend? Seriously. The fact simply remains, narcissists keep their exes around because if they're running low on supply, they have a safety net to fall back on. That's why a lot of these people, a lot of these relationships, these ex relationships, they keep going back and forth to each other, knowing that it's toxic, but you know something, it's really the narcissist, because the narcissist is creating a dynamic. They're creating a false impression to these exes that they can work it out, that things have changed, that things will get better. And every single time they've managed to shit on them, they've managed to hurt them, they've managed to shame them, do everything that a narcissist does best. These people are in a trauma bond with the narcissist. If you think you're the only one who has a trauma bond with a particular narcissist or a number of them, you're not. So if you notice how other people that they've been involved with are still within their surroundings, it's because of the same situation as you. Now, here's a little bit of a mind trip. You may be dealing with someone who has a trauma bond with a narcissist. which means that this person keeps the narcissist ex in their life because the narcissist is feeding them information, feeding them lies, feeding them false promises. And at the end of the day, this person that you have dealt with has been so badly narcissistically abused. They've internalized this abuse and they've managed to project that same abuse on to you. So as you may think you are dealing with the narcissist, this is why I say, guys, be very, very careful, because even so, if you're dealing with someone who was a victim of narcissistic abuse, who was a victim of that kind of abuse, whether in a family dynamic or in a relationship, if they have not properly healed themselves, they will project that same abuse on to you. So all the while, you may think the person is a narcissist when in fact they are a victim of narcissistic abuse, yet they have not healed the trauma of the abuse. They have not healed the environment that has caused the trauma of that abuse. So you have to be very, very careful, guys. Either way, stay away from them. Stay away from them. You don't want to deal with a full-blown narcissist. You don't want to deal with someone who's extremely narcissistic. And you don't want to deal with someone who refuses to heal the trauma, because that's the pure definition of someone who is broken and they are not trying to get help for it. Either way you look at it, guys, stay away from them. They are nothing but problems. They will create nothing but havoc in your life, and they will do nothing but disrupt and destroy your peace, your mental health, your emotional health, your spiritual health. It's not worth it. Guys, I normally don't encourage people to remain friends with exes, but of course, that is your prerogative. That's your free will. You decide what you want to do with that. But just so you know, be very careful with it, because just as you may be going out the door, the ex may be coming right back in, and who knows, maybe the ex never left to begin with. So be very, very careful with it. You meet someone who says, I'm friends with exes, I'm friends with people I've dated, I'm friends with people of my past. Be extremely careful with it, because the ones they say you shouldn't worry about just might be the ones that you have to. That's my time.